Hello everyone, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I am going to show you my top 5 isolation basketball plays that you can run with your basketball team. Hello everyone, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training. If you're new to this channel, on this channel I show you basketball plays, drills, and skills. So if you like that stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. Anyways, so today I am going to show you my top 5 isolation basketball plays, and I will be putting them up against a man-to-man, a 2-3, and a 3-2 zone defense. So without further ado, let's go down to the clipboard and see how my plays work out against a 2-3 zone, 3-2, and man-to-man, and if you guys like them yourselves, or at least like them enough to run them on your basketball team. So first, in this isolation basketball play, what we want to have is basically player 5 to be isolated in that low post. So basically how we're going to start this is by having player 4 pop out to the 3-point line, and player 1 will pass player 4 the ball. Next, we're going to have player 3 go and screen for player 5, who will then cut towards the rim and go down to that low block, and both of these players will then clear out to the 3-point line. Now, player 5 could be just open to go for the layup, or he might have a defender on him, depending on the defense, and he can be isolated in that low post. So now let's see this up against a 2-3 zone. Now most likely this is what a 2-3 zone will look like. And basically what we are going to do is have player 4 pop out, and we're going to have player 1 pass for the ball. Now at this time we're going to have player 1 clear, and we're going to have player 3 go and screen on player, or back screen player 5, who is now still guarding because basically the key is his. Player 5, who can then cut this way or this way. Personally, I would have him cut in front. That way he can get a quick pass and maybe get in front of player 4 for the layup. Now, if he doesn't get the pass right away, he will be posting up player 4 most likely, and this will be sort of a mismatch as player 5 is your biggest man on the court. However, by the time that player 3 goes and clears, this will result in a double team. However, as we see, there's nobody in the key and there's nobody out in this wing. So we could have player 4 pop down, and this could be a 3-point shot as a backup. Or we could have one of these two players cutting down the key for a nice easy pass and layup as well. Even though this is his isolation play, he can still pick up assists to one of these two players. Now let's go against a 3-2 zone and see how this works. So what we'll have is player 4 pop out, and player 1 will pass player 4 the ball. And now player 1 is going to go clear, and what we're going to have is player 3 set a screen on player 5. Now most likely these two players are going to be guarding player 5. Or we could have player 1 double teaming player 4, in which case player 5 could cut this way. However, if player 3 is guarding him on this side, he could go and cut behind player 3. He may be open for a pass. However, if he isn't and he posts up player 4, this is a mismatch. And I would have player 3 pop out this way, so that now the player 1 will now need to go up and guard player 3, which will then get player 5 totally isolated in that low post. If player 2 pops down to double team, he can pass out for 3. Or if player 5 comes over to double team, look who has the back door. So this will work against a 3-2 zone as well. Now let's go against a man-to-man and see how this works too. So now we're going to have player 4 pop out, which will result in a pass. And let's see what will happen. We're going to have player 1 go and clear. And now we're going to have player 3 set a back screen on player 5. And he can cut this way, and he should be wide open for the layup. He can go in quite easily for that layup. If not, and player 5 fights through, this will be just an isolation, bring up these players, and this will be just a total isolation, take your man to the rim, destroy the rim kind of deal. Now, if player 4 goes down in doubles or player 2 comes out in doubles, same idea, they are open as well. However, I doubt that would happen. So, basically, goal, 1 dribble, or 2 dribbles at max, and then take your man right to the basket. Now this is a traditional, your 2 players on each side, so that now they're spreading out the whole court, and you basically have the whole court to take your man one-on-one. Now the main idea with this one is basically once player 1 or whoever is taking his man one-on-one, whoever is taking them to the basket, your main goal is to have player 4 and 3 pop up, which will then allow you to pass off to those players if their defenders come down and double team or play help defense. So against the 2-3 zone, as these 2 players are way out to the wings, we're most likely going to have a double team on player 1, but he can choose one side, whichever side he wants to choose. He can fight through that side, in which case now player 5 will come out to play help defense. However, this player is going to be starting to come in to, just in case, guard that key. Player 4 and 3 will pop up, and look who's open. This guy, player 2 might go over, so this player might not be open. However, we do have player 3 wide open for a 3-point shot. That would be one option, or we could have player 5 cutting baseline, and he may be open as well for the layup too. Now let's go against a 3-2 zone defense and see how this works. Now, same idea, player 1 can take his man, in which case then it would bring in player 3 to play help defense, and maybe even player 5. Player 3 blue would pop up, and both of these players should be open for the 3-point shot, which even though player 1 isn't scoring, he is grabbing an assist, because assists are just as important as scoring. Now against man-to-man, we all know what man-to-man would be like, so let's just call it this. Basically, one-on-one. Take your man one-on-one, see what happens. Somebody comes in for help defense, pass it out for a 3. Now let's go over to my 3rd isolation basketball play. So now in my 3rd isolation basketball play that I like to run, basically what I like to do is have one of these 2 players down in the low post. They're not necessarily post players. However, basically you want your best shooters to be out there in the post. So what you're going to have is he can raise whichever hand, so let's just call this his hand. That's a horrible hand. And we're going to have player 3 go up and screen and roll on player 1. However, this isn't going to be a roll, it's going to be a pop, so I said that wrong. It's a screen and pop. He's going to pop out, 4 is going to pop out, and now what's going to happen is, if that's a switch, if it's not a switch, it doesn't matter. And now it's out into the 5 out. You could run a 5 out play, or player 1 could take his man to the basket, in which case if he takes him left, that will draw player 2 red in. And what we will have is essentially a player 2 who's wide open, or if he doesn't come in, then you have a nice open layup for your blue player 1. Now against a 2-3 zone, this becomes even more interesting. Most likely you're going to have both of these players playing double team on player 1. You're going to have your post player, player 3 or 4, whatever, go and screen up for player 1, who may be open for a 3-point shot or just a drive towards the rim. Now, if he drives towards the rim, you're going to have player 4 pop out still, and he's going up into player 5. However, player 3 might go and help out, which will again leave player 2 open for a 3-point shot. However, when he's in this area, he could go in for a floater as well. Now let's go against a 3-2 zone defense and see how this works out. First off, in a 3-2, we have the deep wings wide open, so again, they just might be a quick, easy shot. However, what we'll have, let's just say for the sake of argument, player 3 going up for the screen and pop. Well, he could drive through and get player 2 again, or what could happen is player 2 could start moving in, which would then pull player 5 possibly a little bit farther out to guard player 2 just in case of a pass, which he would have wide open floater right down the middle of the key. Now let's head over to the 4th basketball isolation play that I like, and well, see how it works against these defenses. Okay, so what we have here is basically a triangle on this side, and we have player 2 wide, well, way over here on the weak side, well, what I call the weak side because all the players are on that side. And basically what we're going to do is have player 2 run up, and this is going to be a pass and then a dribble handoff. Basically what you're trying to do is get a mismatch with possibly player 2. Now this could be a post player as well, so that you can really have a mismatch. he's going to clear out. These players might be playing some help defense, but now he has a wide open side, a whole side of the court to take his man one-on-one, pull up for a jumper, or anything like that. Now let's go against a 2-3 zone and see how this works. Now against a 2-3 zone, what's going to happen is player 2 is going to pop up. That'll be a pass just like before. This will then bring a nice mismatch over to this side. And now you might have a double team over here, which is what I would instruct. However, if player 2 goes and clears right out, that will leave this whole side open where you could have a double high post. Again, not really in isolation, but if he doesn't get that shot off, you've got to get somebody open. And you can go high-low as well, which would be an option 2. So this will still work against a 2-3 zone, but it's not necessarily an isolation. This is mostly an isolation play that will work best against a man-to-man defense. I already know this will not work against a 3-2 either, so I will not show you that. However, basically this play will work best against a man-to-man defense. Now here's a high 1-4 play that's an isolation play as well. We'll run this first against a man-to-man defense. And what we have here is basically player 4, he's going to be back screening on player 5, who's going to run baseline. And if he fights through whatever, if he switches, doesn't matter. He's going to clear out to that far side. Now what's going to happen is player 4 is going to pop out, and he's going to receive the pass. So he's going to roll out, pop out, and he's going to receive the pass. Player 1 is going to then clear out to the other side, and we will now have our power forward going against their power forward. He can drive either way. If he drives up top, it's going to bring player 2 in, which will be an open mid-range shot for player 2. Or if he drives this way, it will actually bring the opposing side's center player to play help defense, in which case that'll be a hammer pass out to player 5. So if you have a post player who can shoot, that would be fantastic. If not, he can drive towards the rim, back cut towards the rim, and he will be open as well. Now, again, this will not work against a 2-3 zone or a 3-2 zone. This will only work against a man-to-man defense. Now, I hope you have enjoyed today's basketball play video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed my top 5 isolation basketball plays. And just like the last few videos, this is the last one I will do with the Google Home Mini. Basically, I made an unboxing review and everything of this guy on my other channel. And, well, here's a joke for anyone who likes really, really punny jokes. Hey, Google, tell me a joke.
This might make you laugh. What's Peter Pan's least favorite basketball shot? The hook shot.
I hope you guys have a great day. And finally, it gave me a basketball joke. That's a first. Hey guys, quick 10-second ad, or at least I'm going to try for 10 seconds. I have a basketball defense book that I know you will enjoy. Basically, anything below that free throw line, this whole area, gets a double team. So try it out. Check out the link in the description. It is called The Unbeatable Basketball Defense. Hello, so if you have liked this video, click over here to subscribe, or maybe over here, depending on which side I put it on. I don't know yet. Anyways, also, the opposite direction or the opposite side is another video you may like. So I hope to see you again in one of those next videos. Yeah.